Hi there guys, it's Aaron here from All Out Gaming, and this is not a DualSense controller. So yes, for the past couple weeks I've been taking out this bad boy for a spin, and it is in actual fact the new Hyperkin competitor wired pro controller designed for use with Xbox and PC. And if it looks vaguely familiar, or in some cases extremely familiar, that's probably because it's meant to be. The competitor is obviously a really tongue-in-cheek name as it is, which indicates that the developer Hyperkin knows exactly what it's doing. No, the explicit intention with the new Hyperkin competitor is quite clearly to bring the magic, the look, the comfort and feel and ergonomics of the PlayStation 5 DualSense to other platforms. Namely PC, yes, but more importantly Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. Now, the Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S controller is actually regarded by most people as pretty perfect, so why would somebody like Hyperkin want to go and do this? Well, if you're a bit of a weirdo like myself, you're somebody who actually prefers playing their DualSense controller, namely because of that beautiful haptic feedback, maybe the split D-pad, and also, more importantly, the symmetrical thumbstick layout. Most of that stuff the competitor controller does an actually really good job of embedding. You can see that the split D-pad, translucent by design, is well and truly intact, as is the symmetrical analog stick layout. The idea of symmetrical thumbsticks is something that the Xbox brand as a whole stepped away from back when the original controller released, the Duke, with the original Xbox console. Well, while that works pretty well for home console play and first-person shooter coordination, there is a sect of players out there that simply want to have that symmetric pro controller feel when playing their Xbox console. That's something that up until now Xbox first party hasn't really been interested in providing, and so the responsibility falls to third-party developers and third-party accessory manufacturers. The competitor controller is most definitely the most on-the-nose attempt at capturing a more PlayStation-centric vibe and feel on Xbox yet, and rather than simply sprinkle in these brief design elements, Hyperkin have gone full hog and gone all the way. You only need to look at the competitor controller briefly to really look at and discover all the ways it looks like a PlayStation 5 DualSense. Even comparing the two controllers side by side, you'd probably have to catch yourself for a minute to really decide and realize which is which. So yes, in simple terms, the competitor controller is an Xbox third-party controller that's designed to look like a DualSense. Symmetrical thumbsticks, translucent split button D-pad design, and also some really nice textured grip feel at the back of the controller. More on that later. But this goes one step further, of course, by embedding Hall effect thumbsticks. So anybody who's in the pro controller scene will really enjoy the idea of Hall effect thumbsticks, because the idea is that stick drift is no longer a possibility. The magnet-based design ensures that there is an extra degree of precision, basically guaranteeing that your sticks will never drift. So I'm really pleased to see that Hyperkin has embedded that here. Also featured are two extra Pro buttons at the back, customizable and remappable to any additional function on the controller, but also it's the triggers that have been paid great attention to also. The impulse triggers, which essentially guarantee that whenever you shoot somebody in the first-person shooter you're playing on an Xbox console, it's going to do so incredibly responsively and with the most accuracy possible. So far, the competitor controller gets a lot of things right. It mimics the look, feel and ergonomics of the PlayStation 5 DualSense as much as they can without probably getting sued, but it also sprinkles in those Hall effect driven extras as well. So where does it all go wrong? Well, luckily it doesn't, but I don't love the fact that it is wired. Whereas you can play your DualSense on PC via Bluetooth or wireless play completely wire-free, I can't really see why a PC player would choose the Hyperkin competitor controller over a standard DualSense controller. Obviously in recent years, PlayStation in general as a brand has been a lot more forthcoming with the way it works and interacts with PC, similar to the Xbox brand right from the very start. There's simply less of a need for a third-party accessories manufacturer manufacturer to provide a PlayStation experience on PC by way of controller, since PlayStation are doing it themselves. That leaves the main use case and user base for the Hyperkin competitor controller for Xbox players on Xbox that don't like using an Xbox controller. This is an argument that I very rarely see when perusing the online forums or even just from my friends. I would say 8 out of 10 people really enjoy the feel of the Xbox controller when playing an Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S, but despite the user base and use case for the competitor on Xbox probably being really niche, I do like the fact that someone who's perhaps more used to playing on PlayStation now has a way to more accurately replicate that experience when playing on an Xbox console. I also think it's pretty interesting to note that from a price perspective, the Hyperkin competitor controller is actually very competitive, coming in at $49.99 US and I believe $39.99 British pounds, which basically places it well under either of the first-party controller options, being the Xbox Series X controller or in fact the PlayStation 5 DualSense, the very controller it's meant to replicate. So from that perspective, if you're an Xbox player that wants that PS5 DualSense experience, it's actually going to cost you less than it would to buy an actual DualSense, providing you don't mind playing via a wired USB-A to USB-C cable. So overall, not a bad proposition from Hyperkin, delivering that PlayStation experience and ergonomic feel on Xbox and also doubling it up on PC, despite the fact that you can already use your DualSense controller on PC. So anyway guys, that just about does it for my full review, thoughts and impressions on the Hyperkin competitor controller. I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5. Do you plan on picking this one up? Maybe you're one of those PlayStation preferring players that would use this on your Xbox Series X console. Be sure to let me know in the comment section below. And then when you've done that, why not leave this video a like and consider subscribing to the All Out Gaming YouTube channel to stay up to date with even more videos like this. Until next time, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.